Good evening, Danvers. Mark Zuberek here with the topics of the town news. This is November 7th, 2024. Today I have some assistants. I have Tony Betancourt, our resident commentator that has been helping out all along, and our special guest, Jim Morose. And he carries many titles for our community. So welcome, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. This will be devoted to post-election discussion and comments that we have learned to savor until this time of the show. The agenda and opinions are solely by the topics of the town host, our guests, contributors, and commentators. And as I do every single show, I'm going to repeat one of my quotes because this thing is very appropriate of what's going on with us. Today's quote or special saying is, "An action breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy." We got very busy at this election season, and we need to congratulate ourselves for all of this effort, and it has been a good election season. The other part of this quote is, our style may be different. Our style is knowing who you are, what you want, and say, and not give a damn. We own what we say. And this is by Gore Vidal many years ago, and it is something that we need to encourage in our personnel, in our residents, in our politicians, because we seem to be afraid to speak up and say what we mean and mean what we say. So, the last piece of this American transition to idiocracy, which is running ahead of schedule, is an article that I found not too long ago. But what it says that lawmakers and power brokers across the United States were proud to announce that America's transition to being an idiocracy is currently running well ahead of schedule. We've become morons much more quickly than we anticipated, said Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Though it has initially seemed like an impossible feat, our hard work to turn the United States into a nation governed by total imbeciles is really complete. We've succeeded in weeding out the country's best and brightest and replaced them with drooling dolts. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. The dream of a nation run entirely by idiots is within reach. This is what our legislators and our highest level of leaders in Washington.
The President of the United States called us trash.
That's right.
How can that be?
So hopefully we'll talk about the results of this election as it happened in Danvers.
But I do want to just add in where you talked about Chuck Schumer, which I thought was really funny when you watched the that dinner they had, fundraiser dinner that the
Al Smith.
The Al Smith dinner, and Vice President Harris didn't go, but Trump was there, and he gave a lot of great jokes, and Chuck Schumer was sitting like right there. And you could tell in the beginning he was like, but he was laughing at the end. You just can't help it. And it was funny. But when you mention Chuck Schumer, he calls us a bunch of imbeciles. But he also told Trump when Trump wouldn't do what the deep state wanted him to do, he said, "We have 6 ways from Sunday to get you."
Yes.
And they got him on all those phony felony charges. That's all I want to say. Otherwise, I'm just going to get in trouble. Oh, no, don't speak the truth there, people.
That's the problem with this country today. They spend so much time fighting over everything. Just help us out and get this country going. Forget about partisan fighting. That's the problem.
You will see some of the results of what happened in the town of Danvers, and the numbers speak for themselves. However, we all know that Danvers and the state of Massachusetts is deep blue, is it?
Yes.
And that means it's Democrat because majority of our legislators and our administrators and our leaders of our state are Democrats.
I know that, but in Danvers, I mean, it was almost half. I mean, if you look at the votes, of Trump didn't lose by much. I mean, that's the thing.
1,500.
That's what I'm saying.
Got it right there.
But still, it is branded.
It's pushed heavily and pressed into your brain that you're supposed to be a Democrat. That's for sure.
That's right. So what we can do is, Greg, if you can just run the first clip, and I will talk over, not that one, that's the last one. There we go. The first clip that I took, and I'll explain why it is outside, because I have encountered for the first time in my existence at the town of Danvers that I was in violation of a regulation that is embossed in law. And video and audio recording, as with photography of the polling place, video recording of the polling place is allowed. Audio recording of the polling place is not permitted under state law. I never heard of this state law, but I accept it from the source that we received it. Anyone recording in the polling place must have an ability to record without capturing audio and should be instructed to do so by the warden. Where is the warden? The warden, the only one that I spoke to, was the town clerk who is running the elections.
Is she the warden?
I don't know. And the thing is that those who are using electronic equipment may not use the electricity in the polling place to power their equipment. My God almighty. Well, my response was that I eliminated the inside polling place videos because they were not really that great anyway, because it's the same thing happening over and over again. And Danvers residents and the voters are very organized, and they have know where their precincts are. But let me just read a reply, because I shall comply with your request and eliminate the audio for the segments inside the high school. The segments outside remain as recorded. This will limit my visit to the polling location as a silent movie. So I've created a silent movie, but it was in color, so it wasn't in black and white. It wasn't 1930s. It was 1990s. Oh, no, 2024. I would like to discuss the reasoning and whether this is a regulation or is it written in law. We can discuss that at a later date. So I complied. But look at the fun these people are having demonstrating about Trump.
That's not a demonstration. That's a tailgate party.
Well, I
Look
almost,
at them. They're having fun.
I almost got in.
There was a couple of people trying to crash the party. They can't stay in their own party.
I got invited to have a hamburger with them.
Why
and
not?
I said, no,
Why
not. I would be taking a $50 bribe. You know, I couldn't do that because I'm on the clock.
Oh, really? Are you an elected official?
No, former elected official, but I'm on the camera, so I'm on my own clock.
Technically, you're a member of the media.
You should have had a
So you're part of the fake news, Mark?
No. See, this is the problem: is that the fake news is getting away with this stuff, and I am getting punished for it.
You know, that cooker, they were cooking with wood, so that whatever they were cooking on had probably good flavor.
Look at the people that are in front of the high school and having fun, demonstrating. They're proponents of the Trump vote.
Showing their pride.
And
they were showing that
that's
Trump
exactly
pride.
right.
There you
That
go.
was a good turnout for Trump. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. Really, it was a
I
good turnout.
just want to complete my statement because I think this statement is going to go to the Attorney General.
Are you serious?
Okay, yeah. Well,
I
let's see.
sincerely did not intend for this to become an issue, but I shall follow for the future. My objective was to present on-the-spot reporting as a First Amendment freedom of the press segment of our elections. Thank you for your input and understanding regarding this matter. Well, I got a call this afternoon that DCAT, in their wisdom, has come in and said, we're going to censor you.
What?
Because they didn't want me to show the videos that I eliminated. So censorship is active in the town of Danvers, and this needs to be investigated because this is not right and it should be addressed.
So Big Brother contacted DCAT?
Big Brother contacted DCAT, and DCAT fell for it because they are not in the business of censoring our programming. And the thing is that the threat was that if you don't comply, then we will not support your program.
I understand.
That's ridiculous.
I understand. I mean, just for you know, like I said,
Sanity's sake.
if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. Mark, you have been videotaping elections for 10 years. You've done the same
At
thing.
least.
And known that, but the only difference this year is it's that the fake news and the media elite and all these people were pushing this false narrative of fear and what do you call it? That all these violent things were going to happen at the voting booths.
Yes.
So even when you walked in, you could tell the difference that no political thing, no this, no, you know, you saw them coming in, right, Tony?
It's the controlling dictatorship in our town.
You couldn't wear a hat. I guess you couldn't wear a hat. You couldn't wear a Trump hat. You could wear a Kalama hat.
We have to back up on that one, Greg. This one.
No, this is Sandy.
This is Sandy, and she brought her boot on her foot, and her comment was, "This is to kick Kamala down the way of Washington, D.C." So I appreciated that. That's why I recorded that. That was very good.
I was wondering what the boot was. Okay, got it.
But she actually did break her foot.
Okay.
She did.
Yeah, so she's
But she came hobbling along
came hobbling.
to the demonstration.
The doctor did reprimand her for not following orders. You
Did
gotta
he?
follow the she had to
God.
wear it for an extra 2 or 3 weeks or something.
Well, all right.
Okay.
So what we want to do is devote this program to the experience and results of the voting in the town of Danvers.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Who complained on you then? Don't you have a written complaint? Did someone complain on you or something?
I have asked for one, but all I have is my emails.
I thought the town manager was gone. I thought everything would be okay, but I guess not.
Well, no, I mean, I was there when I saw someone that wasn't a precinct warden, tell Mark that you can't, you can videotape, but you can't use audio. That's what she said.
And I volunteered to remove
Mark,
the audio.
Mark cut it. He cut it.
That's it. So, but the thing is, the extension into our programming is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point, and I stick to it. So,
I mean, it would have been better if she just let it go, and then you aired the video with audio. Then they could have sent the stormtroopers in.
They could have sent the Attorney General up my back. But the thing is, this was all preemptive. I mean, there's so much control in this town.
Right. Is there a sign at the door telling you can't do that? No videotaping?
Well, no, there's a law. There's a law.
There is
there is a law. Mass General, blah, 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 blah.
I will look into that, and I will get a decision on that one.
Well, Stephen King wrote a book.
Yes.
Called The Stand. And, I read the book, and I saw the movie. But, yeah, if you ever have 6 hours, it's a 6-hour movie. He made a miniseries out of it. It was really good. And at one part of the movie was the guy was at the radio station saying, it was like a pandemic. It was just like COVID. And he's saying, you can't do this. You got to do it. And the stormtroopers came right in, and they cut his wires, and they dragged them out. It was just like COVID.
So, Gregor, do we have another clip left, or is that it?
Two more.
Run them, please.
And that was back in last century. That was back in 1980s.
Now,
here is an example of our voters in our town, and I ran into this couple of ladies that were demonstrating against
the Heritage Foundation.
Was it
Project
25?
Are actually on,
and they have no idea what they're talking about. You need to raise the voice level.
What's Project 25 anyway?
That's the question I've been asking them.
Put the Justice Department under the executive branch, which is totally crazy. We could go on and on. It's 900 pages of how to bring our country backwards, way back. R is for reverse. D is for drive.
We need the voice level up higher.
How's that, Mark?
Well, it's a summary.
Do you understand?
There's a lot of detail missing.
There's 900 pages. You'll have to go read
900
it.
pages
What's the
of
biggest
Project
thing?
25.
Getting rid of department, putting the Justice Department under the executive branch.
It's
One of the
already
items
there.
that was brought up by these two ladies was that they were going to eliminate the Department of Education.
I know.
I've been talking about the Department of Education for years. It's about time they eliminated it.
Civil servants?
Civil servants. They want to get rid of thousands and thousands
Civil
of civil servants through the
service
federal government who have
employees
been corrupt.
are going to be eliminated.
Well, I heard a funny thing. A couple of these commentators, they were talking about, you just can't, who was it, Rick Perry? Who was the guy? He was from Texas. He wanted to abolish three branches of government or 3 departments, and he couldn't remember the third one. He can't even remember. But yeah, Commerce, Education, and
I don't know,
the EPA. I think it was the EPA.
Yeah.
But at any rate, someone said, you got to do what we did to the Department of Agriculture. And what it was, I don't know where the Department of Agriculture was. It was probably in Washington, D.C. or somewhere in Maryland or Virginia.
Yeah, it's in Washington, D.C.
And so what they did was they said, we're moving all these jobs to Oklahoma. So you got 1 month to make a decision. Are you going to Oklahoma or are you going to go find another job? And so only 20% of the people went, and they said, nah, that's how you do it.
There you go. So
that's what we got to do.
Right now, what I like to do...
Well, it's true. I mean, if you go through Washington, D.C. and know anything about it, there's a lot of buildings there for all these different departments and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I can tell you, from, as Howie Carr would say, I've worked in the dreaded private sector my whole life. Right. And you know what? People get laid off. I got laid off lots of times.
They get fired, too.
Yeah, and people get fired. And there's no let me think about it. It's like, you're out of here.
Well, that's because every single individual in the state, federal, and local government is in a union.
Right, the unions are the thing. That's what the problem is.
So there are all kinds of unions around, and they protect them. But let's move on to the election in Danvers.
Okay.
We have spent enough time on our frivolities. So, Jim, if you can just give us a rundown of the numbers of Democrats, Republicans, and total count.
Well, the funny thing is they didn't go in. Usually when they have the primaries, they break it out, but they didn't this. So I'll just do the races in Danvers. Okay.
Okay.
So the top race was Harris and Walz versus Trump and Vance. So Harris and Walz got 8,588 votes, and Trump got 7,063. So that's like a 1,500 difference. Okay, which ain't bad. So there's that's almost equal, and I didn't do the percentages, but there's 7,000 people in Danvers that think like the rest of the country, because we're also concerned about the electoral college and the popular vote, but Trump won both. Okay, and then let's see the next one here. We got Elizabeth Warren versus John Deaton.
He didn't do too bad either.
Well, Deaton got creamed across the statewide, but in Danvers he only lost by less than 100 votes.
Right.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren got 7,919, and Deaton got 7,857. And then Seth Moulton, he ran solo, baby.
Yeah, he ran solo.
He was coronated again. No opposition. 11,414.
So a lot of people, a lot of no
votes.
votes. A lot of no votes there because it was like 16 or 18, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And so then we got counselor and the governor's counselor for the 5th district, Ann Manning and Eunice Deluche and Judy Elliott. Ann Manning got 7,189. She actually won Danvers.
Yeah,
Well, she did in Danvers.
Well, these are the unofficial results. I don't know when the official results will come out.
I think she won Peabody too, if I'm not mistaken.
She won. Ziegler is the one that won that
that's what I heard.
position state
Right.
area wide.
Correct.
Did see that.
So Ann Manning lost her seat, and she's the Republican candidate. But Ziegler, and I even had her on the video asking her, I've only seen 1 or 2 signs for Ziegler. And the lady that was holding the sign was not Miss Ziegler, but she told me about her, campaign and everything else.
Yeah.
I couldn't use it because I was too close to the polling place.
Oh.
How many feet?
Don't worry about the feet.
I got a big tape measure next time. Let me know.
Okay. Okay. So some of these races, even though the areas get bigger as we go down. Like, so no one ran against Sally Kearns for state
Sally
rep.
do?
She did 11,261.
Okay.
She got 200 less votes than Seth Moulton in an unopposed race, right?
Right.
And so the next race, the clerk of courts, okay? So Thomas Driscoll, he got 8,312. Todd Angeli got 3,861. And Doris Rodriguez got 1,901. So, again, that's like a big area. It's the Essex County. So even though Thomas Driscoll won here, I think he must have won the whole thing, right?
Not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But
again,
the important one for us,
Yeah.
as Essex County, is the state senate.
right.
Joan Lovely was 8,810 votes in Danvers,
Right.
and 6,387 votes for Damien Anketel.
Right.
And we've had Damien on the show several times, but he is a rising individual that challenged a 12 or 13-year incumbent, and that's very hard to beat,
Yeah.
an incumbent.
Yeah. So he lost to Senator Lovely in Danvers by 2,500 votes. But that was one of the races I could actually find because it was only 4 towns, and it was.
How do you do in Peabody and Beverly? Do you know?
I don't know, but
I'm just curious.
all I know is the final number was Damien lost by 25,000 votes. Okay,
Right.
there was 25,000 vote difference.
I knew
Well,
that.
Salem and Peabody,
And Beverly are big-
Beverly
big,
are
yeah,
big
they're
contributors.
Yes.
Danvers is
I
one
knew
of
he was going to have a
the.
hard time with her because she's been around for a while. Everybody likes her. She's
So
really good.
that's where we're at on the elected officers. Now, we should go into the questions.
Well, no, we got one more race here.
Oh.
Because actually, it's Eileen Duff for the Register of Probate. That's the Governor's Council, isn't it? No.
No,
Register of Probate
no.
is different. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
for
That's
the-
right, because she was on Governor's Council, so that was an open seat
Right.
that Ann Manning and Ziegler and Elliott ran for. And Eileen Duff wanted to move up to the Register of Probate, and she ran against Jonathan Ring. And so Jonathan, let's see, Duff got 8,238. Jonathan got 6,500. So that's a one.
Similar
Yeah.
to Ancatel and Lovely.
yeah, same deal.
Yeah. So those are the results. They are local results, and we have to consider that these elections are area-wide in different counties and different cities. And
But that was a good turnout compared to our elections. You know, our
Our-
town elections are terrible compared to this. I mean,
well,
That's a good point. So there was 16. So in Danvers there was 16,221
people
voters that voted out of the total voter registration of 23,111 for a total turnout of 70%, which is what, as some famous American would say, that's huge.
Right, because the
That's
town ones are only 5 or 6%, if I'm not mistaken, right? Not
oh,
even
those
10%
are
sometimes.
local elections.
Yeah, I
Those
know.
are.
huge. Yeah, no one comes out for a local.
I know, that's why they should move it up
You
to
get
this
10.
section here. They should have a
And
different-
then
so
what
two
you
ballots.
get from local elections is what you deserve because you don't go out and do the elections. One of the proposals for the town charter review has been that the elections should be either moved on the other side of town meeting or into November, just like the cities and towns. And I think the cities and towns makes more sense than just moving it on the other side of town meeting. But town meeting has lost its ability to influence the direction of the town because the town meeting is more interested in their prospective attendance or their delegation of authority from the town. And what they need is somebody that can come in and say, hey, something's wrong, let's fix it.
Well, that's the thing, but I think that they want it like that because this way here they can put in who they want. Okay, that's the problem. My honest opinion, if they had the election during this section here, more people turned out, you'd probably have better people in place. But they don't want that. They want to be able to control them. So that's why they want. So if you only get 8%, you know, and it's usually, you know, I call it the clique. Okay, the clique comes out with their people, and that's what happens.
Okay,
That's
now,
why the town is falling apart.
well, the town is losing its direction.
Exactly.
And what we need, and I believe that it's happening, is the town direction is being changed by the votes for the Board of Selectmen. We have 2 down that had to be replaced. We have 2 more to go, and that's coming. So the thing is that the 2 positions that are open at this time, that will be open in May.
For selectmen.
Is
For
it 2 or 1? Is
selectmen,
it 2 or 1?
2.
It's 2 last
It's
time?
Dan Bennett and David Mills.
Okay,
And
I wasn't sure.
Who
David
knows?
Mills won't be running again, I think he said, but
well,
I did-
he said a lot of things.
he says a
I
lot
did hear
of
that,
things.
but I don't know.
So all right, let's move on.
Okay, we're gonna do the questions.
Question one.
Question 1.
Question one. The state audit of legislature.
That passed, I think, right?
Well,
Yes, 1. Yeah.
yes,
Statewide.
11,143
Oh, and we wanted yes anyway.
and 4,172 no's. all it is, why does the state legislature get away from being audited similar to what everybody else has?
So I won't be showing up. That's
Because, yeah, because they don't want
why they
anybody
want-
to show up.
exactly. They don't want to be showing up. That's why.
So, question 2. In the town of Danvers, let's say, 9,935 yes votes to get rid of the MCAS and 5,938 no votes. Now, the thing is, if you read the red book that was issued by the Secretary of State, what it says on 2, is that it's to eliminate graduation requirements for graduation from high school,
For MCAS results.
MCAS results.
Right.
However, MCAS is going to be administered,
Correct.
continue to be administered.
Yes.
So, I don't know, that was a little confusing, but that's what they chose to do.
Well, their argument was, you know, if someone misses the MCAS, they can't graduate because they will miss it by 1 point. But yet, maybe they weren't a good test taker. But there's, you know, they've actually passed all their grades and scores. They should be able to go. But again, I
That's always been that way.
exactly. And again,
well,
they change it
the
too
teachers
much.
the teachers don't have that discretion because, again, the state passes these laws like MCAS. We gotta have it. We gotta have it. Well, now we don't need it, I guess.
Well, the teachers and the teachers union don't want it because
It shows them up.
reflects,
Yeah,
it
that's the
reflects.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Teaching to the test. Okay. The third
So-
one.
Third one is ride share driver unionization.
Okay.
Get out of the private sector. Legislator, go home. They voted that one as a yes, 7,154 votes, and 8,196 no votes.
But that was in Danvers only, right?
That was in Danvers only.
But that did fail, right?
Yes.
It did fail. Okay.
Okay.
So-
statewide. So far statewide, we've tracked with yes, yes, and no in Danvers.
Right. Now, the fourth question is psychedelic drugs legalization. We just legalized marijuana.
Right.
What's
We
this,
have
the gummy
imported.
bears? I heard of the gummy bears.
No.
No,
Psychedelic mushrooms.
this is mushrooms. This is the big trip.
Don't you think we have problems already? We're adding more problems.
Well, listen to this now. It says 6,262 yes to pass it, and 9,407 no's,
Okay.
which is a reflection of
Right.
Danvers.
What happened nationwide, though? Do you know?
Well, statewide it was no.
Oh, okay. That's
I'm
good.
pretty sure, wasn't
Right.
it?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was no
Okay.
across the state.
And
good,
the fifth question is tipped worker minimum wage.
Oh, yeah, that one.
What a heck are they?
That one went
why,
down in flames.
Yeah.
Why can't they stay
Every
out
restaurant
of
had
the
a poster across
private
their
sector?
building. I mean, really. You know?
And the thing is, the legislators, there were 12,149 no votes and 3,658 yes votes.
Okay.
So it's like a 2/3, 1/3, or three
But
quarters.
I swear to God, they throw these things out there to hope that they can sneak it in. Because sometimes you read these questions, you vote the wrong way, not knowing what you're voting for. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, a lot of
That's-
people don't understand.
Exactly,
In fact,
that's
you know,
the point.
let me just make
I think they they do this constantly to try to screw the people. That's what I think in my mind sometimes.
I'll make an observation because
Go ahead.
I was a poll worker,
Curious, okay.
and so I was, and I'm watching people voting, and I'm going, they're taking an awful long time.
No
and then I
kidding.
go, oh,
They're
there's
reading.
5 questions. Oh, they're gonna read them now, not before the election. So I was like,
That's
okay.
what I'm getting at. Yes.
Well, this is similar to what town meeting does. I mean, they come into the town meeting and open up the packet of information.
I didn't know there was gonna be a test, Mark.
Oh, there is a test. It's part of MCAS.
But you know something? If you watch all the meetings, okay, you everything's covered as long as you watch all the
Right,
meetings,
right,
okay?
right.
You really don't have to go too much into the book because you can follow it. But everything's covered. But if you don't watch the meetings, forget about it. You'd have to read up quite a bit.
Well, exactly. I mean, and the budget has ballooned
Well, that's not
over the years, you know, and especially the school budget. I mean, we still unfunded mandates and all these things and grants that we have to keep, rolling over after we.
Yeah, but we have to pay for them.
Well, I understand that. That's what I'm saying, rolling over. So in other words, we saved 200,000, 500,000 to implement a grant for 2 years, and then the third year is like, well, you guys got to keep that in here for 5 years, so now we're going to pay,
And you see-
it's going to cost us more to do it.
you
And
see
do we
the-
really need it in the
I
first
know.
place?
The MBTA got shut down in Ipswich
Yep.
and in Redden. 2 towns. They don't want it. Two
Well, see,
towns.
and that's
Two towns
another
got
thing.
rid of it.
When
Danvers doesn't have any.
No kidding, but we signed into it. That's
Danvers
the problem.
didn't even know what it was. It was Gardner Trask's vision of Danvers Square. That's what he sold it as.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I mean, that's the thing. I really
Well-
Well, no, it was funny because someone, I'm not going to mention any names on Facebook, said something about, well, you guys are so concerned about the size of the buildings. You know, the fire station is like 40 feet tall, and this old building over here is 35, which is higher than what's allowed. And I said to myself, I don't get into discussions with, people on, but, well, that's what character is. When you have a town, yeah, some buildings are tall, some buildings are small, and there's everything in between. But with this zoning, it's build to the max, baby.
Yes, I know.
Build
but
to the max.
If you stop and think, I went to all the meetings for that stupid Maple Street project. It was not supposed to look like that. That's the reason. That's what everybody's pissed off about, okay? It was supposed to be 3 stories, and the third story is supposed to be set back, okay? That's the reason being. That's not what we got.
Offset, right.
And it wasn't supposed to be that much apartments. That's where the problem came in. They bent over backwards and gave whatever they wanted. That's the problem.
Well, listen, the one thing that we're all forgetting is that this zoning amendment was pushed and instructed to be implemented by the state. And the state used the MBTA as a vehicle to push the expansion of our housing. And what they want to do is they want to create the old-fashioned projects. Remember when we had projects in the 60s and 70s?
I know, but you know what the sad part is? This has been going back to when the other project was on Water Street, okay? Traffic. It's too much traffic. That's the problem. These projects are going to make it worse. There's only common sense. Until we have a problem, until they make 128 4 lanes or something, we can't absorb anymore.
Okay,
Well,
but
there's no room to expand.
Okay, to
Well,
be clear,
That's
it's-
not our problem.
to be-
That's the state's problem.
well, to be clear, we're saying it's the state, but no, it's not the state. It's not even the feds. It's the UN. They have, they were out there talking about Project 2025. Well, the UN's got Agenda 2030, which is
Right.
all these. It's called the 15-minute city. And if you look at all the details about the 15-minute city that they want to implement globally, you know what it is? It's the MBTA zoning.
That's right. Well,
Jokes on who?
let's move on because we have a lot more to
Yeah.
cover,
That's
but
what happens.
I am
Nobody knows what's going on. That's-
I am
Well, it's true.
diverting from my
Yeah, we know what's
promise.
going on. We're paying too much in taxes. That's what's going on.
Oh, that's my song.
I know, but that's the truth.
Tax to the max, build to the limit.
Yes.
That's right. So,
We want to live,
I
not be a slave.
gentlemen, quiet down, please.
Okay, put your pitchforks down.
The issue here is I'm going to divert from my promise to keep an eye on Danvers only.
Okay.
But
Understood.
I can't divert any further than this because I saw this article. If Trump does what he promises, these will be 4 good years.
Oh, yes.
So the thing is that I don't know. Is it going to be 4 good years?
I hope so.
The promises have been made by both sides. They all lie to each other.
I understand, but listen, when Trump was in office last time, I paid $1.34 for gas in Lawrence. I remember, okay? It doesn't leave my mind, okay? That was the cheapest to went to, and that was pretty damn good. Okay? Right now, take a look, see where they're at, okay? So if he does what he's going to do, drill, baby, drill, that's going to bring the prices down for
Well,
sure,
that-
and that should help everything out.
Well, that was the question that was asked at the election. Have you had enough?
Right.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? The rest of the country said, no! But here in Massachusetts, where we have limousine livers, no, we haven't had enough. We like inflation at 9%. We like high gas prices, and we like it. We like it a lot.
Well, look at the news release this afternoon or this morning that Governor Healy, of all people, and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, they're a matched pair together, announced that they will object to any deportation of our
What?
illegal immigrants.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
It sounds like an insurrection to me.
Well, I don't know, but
Here we go.
There we
Let me
go.
give you a scenario.
Put 'em
Okay?
in a
Let me
clank.
give you a good scenario. This is a good one. I saw this one on Facebook. Okay, if you were better off 4 years ago than you are today, you must be illegal. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear
Okay.
you.
well, that's part of the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Why the taxes keep
It's
going
all
up.
accepted. I have included this article for you guys, but I'm not going to read it. But it's very interesting to see what kinds of things people are worried about. And this is coming from Conrad Black, who is the publisher for the. Oh, what is he a publisher of? For the. It doesn't matter. They're all the same.
Well, you know what? Talk about publishing. I think the talking heads are now talking about the fact that this election has pretty much, given the death knell and the final rights to the mainstream media, and the newsprint, and all these people. No one's going to use them anymore. It's Joe Rogan and all this, whatever you call it, podcasting. And
Podcasts, yeah.
Fake
That's-
news.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
the one thing is that we have a name behind us, Topics of the Town News. But we are not the mainstream media. But they're already censoring us from Town Hall and from DCAT.
Of course.
Yeah.
So we need to take
They
care
don't
of
want
that.
us telling the truth. That's
Well,
the problem.
When are the stormtroopers
When people get
coming?
educated and know what's going on, that's what happens.
All right. So what I wanted to do here is we have a few minutes, and what I want to do is a little selection from Town Charter Review,
Okay.
because I have been observing that you have been at the meetings.
I went to
Tony,
one.
you have
I've been
gone.
watching them on TV. I think there's one tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No,
What's
it's
the
There
night?
was
night.
last
Oh,
night.
last night. I
Last
missed
night.
that one.
That's right, Wednesdays.
Okay.
They are very serious about their issue in regard to the town charter, because that's going to establish the way the town is going to go in the future. Right now, they're still learning about how it operates.
And there's a lot to it, and they're into a lot of places too. That's why I don't know. I mean, they're doing a good job from what I can see. I'll be honest with you. Listening and
They
watching.
are trying very hard.
They are trying hard, and
but-
we have to thank them too, because they're doing it. I mean, they're spending a lot of time doing it. They're
Well,
not getting
what-
paid for it.
What I understand is that today's selectmen's meeting is going to go into a workshop setting after this meeting at 6:30, and they're going to be talking about town charter. So I don't know what this is.
Is that
yeah,
is that is it gonna be live or?
it's
No.
supposed to be live.
I'm just curious.
Is a
It-
workshop like executive? Yeah,
No,
he-
no,
He just-
Greg
yeah.
just gave us the thumb.
Yeah.
Yes, live.
it's
Live
live.
is
yeah.
good.
live at Madison Square Garden.
That's right. So we should either attend or
I'm-
watch
I'm
that.
going to the meeting tonight, anyways. I'm going to the
So
meeting.
that's one of the things. But town charter review is very important, and the one thing that I want to thank Sally Calhoun for is that she listens to the fact that it needs to be televised, because people are not very good about attending meetings
No, it's
because
sad.
nobody cares until they see it
I know.
firsthand.
Until something goes wrong, and then it's too late. That's the problem.
Well, just to give you an example, I mean, my morning routine is I wake up, and I make my coffee, and I put on Channel 13, which is Fox 25. It's the local news. Just so I can see locally. I like to watch the local TV for local news. Half the time
You're
it's-
watching fake news.
yeah, half the time it's all but I mean, for the last month I didn't hear much about the election, but all of us in the last 3 days or 4 days before the election, all of a sudden it was a big push with all this stuff, and it was, as they've advertised, it's 98% positive for Kamala and 98% negative for Trump. I mean, you can't miss it. It's like, bing.
It's like that through all the stations.
Well, let's make sure that whatever the people want, they have elected Trump now.
Yeah.
We have to fall in line with the Republican agenda right now, because
I hope they let him leave,
we-
though, instead of keep picking at him, please.
Well, we
gotta
can't
let
even
him
do
go.
that. Let me just give you an example about Republican politics, because I am one. In New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte got 63% of the vote. She won it as the Republican governor, but Trump did not carry
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. And why? That's the rhino factor. You see, that's what happened to Trump in his first, term. The rhinos with those big horns, right in the back, bam, 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 bam. He couldn't do anything without being hamstrung by his own people. So hopefully he learned his lesson.
So hopefully that we have learned a lesson too, because nobody whispered in his ear that he was going in the wrong direction for some cases. And he needs to surround himself with more reliable.
I'm hoping this time that he's got some knowledge of what's going on and be
right.
able to put things in place the right way.
So, I have gone through the town charter, and I think it's been one of the things that I was impressed with is that Sally requested contributions from the old timers,
Former selectmen.
the former selectmen, David Mills, Mike Bean, Dan Bennett, Maureen Bernard, Joko, D. Joko. Peter Zook was on the list.
Oh, really?
Ken
You know what?
Brown was on the list, and he contributed.
Yeah, I did. I was there. the day
Pat,
Brown was there.
Pam Bartlett, remember Pam
Yeah.
Bartlett?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I remember her.
And she should contribute.
Mm-hmm.
John Webb is another one. That's way back in the 90s.
Did he contribute?
I don't think so.
I don't think
was
so. I'm not
asked.
sure.
And Ken Hersey is another one that's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
alive.
Another blast from the past.
She didn't put my name on it because I guess she didn't want me to go. But I submitted my comments anyway. So,
But I just want to say something about that, because one of the interesting things I thought Keith Lucy and I think Kenny Brown and the whole committee talked about the concept of the committees, like the zoning board, the planning board, and the conservation committee. All these boards are all appointed by people, and so someone brought up the point. I think it was Keith and Kenny Brown said that maybe at least two of them should be elected,
Yeah,
as
I did hear
opposed,
that.
absolutely.
And I said,
absolutely.
ooh, that's a pretty good idea. I'd like to poll the committee to see if
Well-
what they think of something like, do you think that all the appointments are fair and square and above board? I would think that would be a good question to ask the committee. I mean, there are people on that committee that I think that they just got elected. This is their first term as town meeting members.
Yes. Oh, there were even.
I don't know how many, but
They weren't
there's at
even
least two of them.
elected. They were written in. One of them was written in.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a write-in. Yeah,
Write-in.
against you, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
They must have.
That's okay.
They must have. What do they call that? Drafted him. They drafted him.
Oh,
Did he,
the-
make, did he make it?
Yeah, he made it. He
Oh,
beat
yeah.
Mark.
Really?
yeah.
With the write-in.
Which is fine, which is okay. Let's hear it from a different side of the voice, because they know what I think,
No, I
and
understand.
I stick to it.
Right.
All right, can I take a break?
Go
I want to
ahead.
make a commercial break.
Go ahead.
Okay, it was Grandparents' Day at my grandson's high school. He goes to St. Thomas Aquinas in New Hampshire. So at the event, they said a prayer, and then they had this. This is their little motto for the school, for all the kids, that this is what they aspire to, and they say this with their prayers every day. And it says, Grant me, Lord my God, a mind to know you, a heart to seek you, wisdom to find you, conduct pleasing to you, and faithful perseverance in waiting for you, and a hope of finally embracing you. Amen. I thought it was very good.
It is, but I looked at the symbol that's on it. Is this part of the Boy Scouts?
No, I forget what that symbol is, but it's the same symbol as the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the saint symbol. Yeah, I don't know. It's something to do with, yeah.
Well, okay. So thank you for that note.
That
Now
was good.
that we
That's
have,
what we need. Okay, even in school a little bit more. I don't know if they do pledge allegiance anymore to the flag.
No.
We used to do that. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to bring some of the stuff back.
well,
I mean,
just
really.
for your information, while I was wandering through the polling at the high school, I stopped by Dan Bauer's office.
Ah,
And as a matter of information, I was able to get a presentation that was made. Well, it doesn't matter. Presentation that was made in regards to the standing of Danvers versus the rest of the cities and towns
Okay.
in the state of Massachusetts on MCAS scores and how we
think we're
fared
34, right?
against.
do you remember where we were?
Well,
34,
no.
I think I
No.
read
This
a
is
while
this is not that.
This
No,
is
they
not-
will
I know.
not give you that. Come on.
You know, you can't make good decisions if you don't have the facts and the information. You know,
I could've
the
sworn we were
MCAS
34, if I'm
test
not
is the
mistaken.
MCAS test.
Here's the presentation that was made on October 30th, and that was right after the explanation that I had on the last show for the topics of the town news, and I rammed my information through the social and emotional learning and the DEI factor that is being used in the schools. So Dan, I went in and just asked for it, and he wasn't there, but I explained to his administrative aide that I have invited Dan to come onto the show on November 21st. We'll see if he shows up or not, but at least we'll have the information that they're looking for. You're welcome to borrow that because I am going to get a single-spaced version of this, maybe even get it for the...
On a quick scan, let me just tell you what
Go
this
for it.
Okay, it looks like, you know, the kids from grade 3 to 5, 6, 7, 8, they're jockeying around whether we meet equal to the state. You know, it has the state level and then Danvers level. But by the time they get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, we're pretty equal.
Right.
We're equal. So I mean, and you have to be, because if that's the metric to graduate, then you got to be able to
Well,
be up
the issue on the last presentation, which was last month, was that we do not have actually a Danvers school system. We have a state of Massachusetts school system, which is dictated by DESE, which is the Department of Education, Secondary Education, and all that. And they provide the curriculum that they have to teach to.
But they get their marching orders from the national.
Well, that's exactly what Project 2025 was being discussed, and I know the two ladies that sat there, and they don't understand what it's all about. All they hung on is
Yeah.
the Department of Education for the federal government.
Yeah.
They should stay out of our business.
I don't know what the federal budget is for the Department of Education, but I think I calculated that one time. We only got 5 minutes left. But there's billions of dollars. So if you divide those billions of dollars by the 50 states, every school district should be able to get a couple extra $1 million every year for the money we waste with all these bureaucrats that are just telling us what to do and how to do it, when we already got enough information to know what the kids need, you know, to progress from kindergarten
Through
through
high
12th
school,
grade
yeah.
and then get prepared for college.
Well,
it's been a time-honored tradition.
the
Not
one-
everyone needs to go to college.
The
You
one
can go to Essex Tech.
The one questionnaire that should be implemented at the end,
Yep.
after 1 year of college, how many of those students actually stay and complete the college, or after 1 year they all disappear? So that they cost the parents $50, $60, $70,000, or
or the other way
loans.
around.
So
I don't mean to brag and boast, but my middle grandson, who started college last year as a freshman, this year he's a junior.
there you go.
That's what
So
we're talking about.
he's got some extra credits that he's built up.
Yeah, and he actually invented a crystal, brand new crystal. He's supposed to present it to some scientific thing there. They're gonna...
Well, maybe we should have him on the show to give us a demonstration. So, the last item on the agenda for tonight, and I am going to ask Dan Bauer to come on if he wishes to.
Uh-huh.
You can't force anybody. You can bring the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
How about one of them ambush interviews? What do they call it?
No, those
Ambush journalism. Yeah.
those
No, we don't do
happened
that.
to
I
the
don't like
town
those.
manager.
I don't like those.
And that was sad to see because
Yeah, that was.
that
you
was
know,
not-
you don't
Okay.
do that.
update on Beverly Airport.
Okay.
What do we got for an update?
Next Beverly Airport segment, if times allows, and we still have some
We got 3
time.
minutes left.
There's a letter that I included in here from about Maura Healey, our governor,
Okay.
who is contesting that the environmental list, top Healy environmental leader calls for reform at Massport, but they should be calling for reform at Beverly Airport because that's where it all starts. Massport is a gone conclusion. Now, I have this entire presentation that she made, and her secretary, Tapper, I think, is the environmental individual, and she is the one that's handling our appeal about the hangar that's being built. And the update that I want to share with you is that we have made the application to appeal the decision of the conservation.
Okay.
We have paid $245 for the application, and that was submitted to the state State Department of Environmental Protection.
Okay. EPA.
However, for some reason, they lost it.
They lost the check, huh?
They lost the check. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to investigate this one a little bit closer. But the appeal is about the information needed to the Environmental Protection Agency, MEPA, basically. And the thing is, they've lost the check.
But they cashed it. Didn't you say they cashed it?
They cashed it. That's right. We have a copy of the check and we have a copy of the signature on the back. But they claimed that they never got it. So our government is at work trying to object to all of our appeals. So the one thing that we want to show at the end, Greg, is the presentation or the last clip for the Beverly Airport. And jets are flying every Friday, Saturday,
Oh, yeah, it's a lot more.
Sunday, and Monday mornings
Even-
because they take off right over the high school and they fly over your house, my house. I don't know about yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is getting to be complicated.
In the middle of the night, they've taken off lately.
I'm
That's
trying
right.
to remember where the heck I was, and I was talking to some people, and a jet just flew. I went,
Yep.
oh, is that what they're talking about? Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
That's it.
So let's take some action because we need to organize the residents.
Oh, no question
And
about
the thing is that we need to get a demonstration going at the airport or in front of Beverly City Hall.
I think we're going to try to get a hold of the people that hold the signs for Trump. They were pretty good.
There you go. Thank you very much. Good night, and we'll see you next time.
This show is over, baby.